specialization supply drop has been arranged for you.
You can see the riding on the pavement. Young kids, they're growing up in basements. Online, a whole new generation. I'ma make mine, so you better go take it. Always they need a new replacement. Decentralized, can't contain it. We're changing lives, yeah, upgrading. Calling suicide of the older generation.
What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah.
I think that we've all had enough. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough.
Hey agents, I'm back with another updated system corruption build here in year 7 of the Division 2. I'm sure by now you know I love system corruption, and I bet you would too if you could only find the right build that suited your strengths and preferred playstyle. Well, in this video, we're going to help find that build for you because I'll share some ideas on how you can customize my build to match your preferences. This time we've got a system corruption crit build. I'm running 4 pieces of system corruption, including the backpack, a Ceska chest with Obliterate, exotic Coyote Mask, and exotic Bighorn assault rifle. I'm using the sharpshooter specialization, and I have 4 core blues and 2 reds. This is currently my favorite build to run in conflict PvP because it does everything. Great survivability and instant burst damage with system corruption's talent, Hackstep protocol. Ramp up your damage with Obliterate, so even after Hackstep runs out, you're still dishing out great damage. Plus, sneak in a few headshots, and the Bighorn will out-damage any gun on the battlefield, as long as it's not coupled with Umbra, of course. I'll now go into detail on why I chose the pieces for this build, starting with system corruption. This gear set was made for PvP. People may tell you it's in a bit of a weak state right now, but it can turn you into a ninja assassin on the battlefield. The 40% pulse resistance from the 3-piece bonus, in conjunction with a 10% pulse resistance mod, gives you full immunity to any and all pulses. Run around the map undetected, all the while laughing at Heartbreaker and Spotter builds as they get a grand total of 0 bonus damage against you. 1v1s are where this build thrives, thanks to Hackstep protocol. This replaces your armor kits with a not so instant ability that replenishes 20% of your missing armor, gives you 50% bonus armor or 100% with the backpack, hides your nameplate for 5 seconds, and the cherry on the sundae, you get 2% total weapon damage for every 5% bonus armor you have, or a maximum of 20% bonus damage, turning you into an apex predator for 5 seconds. So you're probably thinking, get in, assassinate your target, and get out, right? Wrong. You've just built up your Obliterate stacks. You're probably close to full stacks, and that's 20% total weapon damage. They only last for 10 seconds. And if you've landed a few headshots on your first victim, you've now got another 6% headshot damage per stack on your Bighorn. So get back in there. I love the synergy on this build because Hackstep protocol gives you a huge boost in the beginning of the fight by means of 100% bonus armor and 20% damage, while also allowing you to charge up your damage with Obliterate and Big Game Hunter, so after the 5 seconds is up, you're still a force to be reckoned with. As I mentioned, my specialization is sharpshooter, mainly for the 15% recoil control, because I'm well aware my aim isn't great and the Bighorn has some serious kick. In fact, I also have another 2 attributes rolled to handling on this build. I sacrifice 26% crit damage for the additional 16% handling because I don't want to give up any crit chance, as I need to be at 60% to maximize my stacks on Obliterate. And I know, Coyotes will give me 10% crit chance to targets that are further than 15 meters, but with this build, we want to be fighting up close. More often than not, we'll be getting the 25% crit damage bonus for fighting inside 15 meters. I'm fine with only 10% crit damage at mid-range. If I were to replace it with a group bow, for example, I'd only be getting another 3% extra. So Coyotes is well worth it, even if I'm already at 60% crit chance. Now to get 60% critical hit chance on this build, almost everything needs to be rolled to crit chance, and your chest piece needs to be Ceska. If you can't do that, it's not the end of the world, as you do have the Coyote Mask. You can also sacrifice some handling, you know, if, unlike me, you've got Giga Chad aim. I'm not gonna lie, the stats on this build look pretty sad, but raw numbers never tell the whole story in this game. With Obliterate, we're getting up to 20% total weapon damage. Add that to the 20% we're getting from Hackstep Protocol and the ridiculous headshot damage from Bighorn stacks. You forget all about the 57% crit damage. If you don't believe me, that's fine. Nobody's gonna lose sleep over it. But if you're looking for a build with great survivability and high damage without having to rely on headshots, this is your guy. But let's say you don't have the Bighorn, or you want even more survivability. Here are some variations to this build. For survivability, some options are: run 5 blue cores instead of 4. Swap Obliterate for Unbreakable, or Tardigrade for more bonus armor. With Tardigrade though, you'll need to trade the Coyote Mask for 1 piece of Ceska. Or swap out Coyote for Catharsis. If you still want 60% crit chance, you'll have to sacrifice some handling. If you don't like the Bighorn, any high-end AR will do. In fact, as you can get an extra 10 to 15% crit chance through mods, you'll have more freedom with the rolls on your gear with a high end. Plus, you probably won't need the extra handling, as the ARs not called the Bighorn typically have pretty easy recoil patterns. Now I know I mentioned this already, but don't forget your 10% pulse resistance mod. It really is a huge part of this build. Okay, so finally, let's deal with the elephant in the room. How to farm this build. Starting with system corruption. And I'm so very sorry, but I'm pretty sure that devs hate this gear set, as they've made it almost impossible to acquire outside of global events. Season Legacy caches, which can be purchased with stars earned throughout global events, are far and away your best bet at getting system corruption. So if you're missing any pieces, make sure to grind the heck out of the next global event, buy as many Season Legacy caches as possible, and pray to RNGesus before opening them. Because after the global event, you'll only have the DZ and conflict caches to get system. And to give you an idea of how rare it is, over my last 200 or 300 matches of conflict, I've only gotten 1 piece. And drops in the Dark Zone aren't much better. You do have one more chance though, and that's if you've broken down system corruption pieces in the past. You'll have system corruption data core in your resources, and for every 3 you have, you can craft 1 piece. And another unique part of system corruption is that the mask, gloves, and holster come with red cores, and the backpack and knee pads come with a blue core. Don't even worry about the chest, as it is completely useless. Finally, for skills, I like the Booster Hive and Scanner Pulse or Decoy. But just use what you like, as at tier 0, none of them will be game breaking. But some things to consider: with system, you won't have a cleansing or healing over time medkit for dealing with status effects, so a Booster Hive can come in handy. Also, using a decoy before entering a fight will proactively hide your nameplate, so the enemy won't know when you use Hackstep Protocol. So there's your build. Again, this is my favorite way to play system corruption at the moment. If you've got what you think is a better build, go ahead and let us know in the comments section. I'm always interested in seeing how other players use system corruption. Anyways, thanks for watching, and whatever build you're running, have fun, agents.